There comes a moment in your life, not loud, not dramatic, but deeply real. A moment where everything slows down, and you find yourself standing at a quiet crossroads. No one is there to guide you. No signs, no guarantees, just you, your thoughts, and a single decision waiting to be made. It might not seem important at first. It might feel like just another small choice, something you can delay, ignore, or escape from. But hidden inside that moment is the power to change everything. Because the truth is, your life is not shaped by big, rare events. It is shaped by the decisions you make in silence, when no one is watching, when no one is pushing you, when it's just you facing yourself. Most people walk away from these moments. They choose what feels safe. They choose what feels familiar. They stay where they are, not because they want to, but because they're afraid of what could happen if they choose differently. Every decision carries a weight, even the ones you try to ignore. And sometimes, the hardest part is not choosing between right and wrong, but choosing between who you are, and who you could become. It's the silent battle inside you. One side pulling you toward comfort, toward the life you already know. And the other, quietly calling you toward growth, toward something unfamiliar, something uncertain. That's why it feels heavy. That's why you hesitate. Because deep down, you know, once you choose, there's no going back to the same version of yourself. A single decision can close one chapter and open another. It can break patterns you've been living in for years, or keep you stuck in them without you even realizing it. And the longer you stand still, the louder that inner voice becomes, reminding you that something inside you is ready to change. Change doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes, it feels like loss. Loss of comfort, loss of certainty, loss of the version of you that once felt safe. And that's why most people resist it. Not because they don't want a better life, but because they're afraid of what they might have to leave behind to get there. There's a strange comfort in staying the same, even when it hurts. Even when you know you've outgrown the life you're living. Because at least it's familiar. At least you know how it ends. But stepping into change means stepping into the unknown. And the unknown doesn't promise anything. But what if the fear you feel is not a warning? What if it's a sign that you're standing at the edge of something greater? Because every version of you that ever grew had to walk through uncertainty first. Had to let go of something old, to make space for something new. And maybe right now, your fear isn't there to stop you, maybe it's there to test how badly you want to become more. There was a time when everything felt stuck. Same routine, same thoughts, same quiet frustration that never really left. Days would pass, but nothing inside truly moved. It felt like life was happening, but not evolving. One evening, sitting alone, there was a moment of complete silence. No distractions, no noise, just a simple, uncomfortable truth rising to the surface: if nothing changes, nothing will change. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it was honest. And sometimes, honesty is the hardest thing to face. That night didn't come with a perfect plan. There was no sudden clarity about the future. Just one small decision, to stop avoiding what needed to be faced. To take one step, no matter how uncertain it felt. It didn't change everything overnight. But it shifted something deeper, a direction, a mindset, a willingness to move forward. Most people don't realize it, but they're living the same day over and over again. Same thoughts, same reactions, same choices, just different dates on the calendar. It becomes a pattern, so familiar that it feels like life itself. But in reality, it's just repetition. Breaking that pattern isn't easy. It requires awareness. It requires you to pause, and notice the habits that are quietly shaping your life. The way you think when things go wrong. The way you avoid discomfort. The way you settle for less than what you truly want. These small, unnoticed patterns are the ones keeping you exactly where you are. But the moment you decide to do something different, even something small, you interrupt that cycle. You create a shift. It might feel uncomfortable at first. It might even feel wrong. But that discomfort is not failure, it's proof that you're stepping outside the version of you that has been holding you back. And every time you choose differently, you move one step closer to a life that actually feels like yours. The hardest part of change is accepting that you can't become someone new while holding on to everything from your past. Growth demands space. It asks you to release old beliefs, old habits, even old versions of yourself that no longer fit who you're becoming. And that can feel confusing. Because part of you still recognizes the old you. It feels familiar. It feels like home. But deep down, you've already started to outgrow it. The thoughts are changing. The mindset is shifting. The things that once felt normal don't feel right anymore. This is the in-between phase. Where you're no longer who you used to be, but not yet fully who you're becoming. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncertain. But it's also powerful. Because this is where transformation happens, not in the comfort of certainty, but in the chaos of becoming. And the more you trust this process, the more you allow yourself to evolve into someone stronger, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. There comes a point in your journey where you can no longer rely on certainty. Where the old path is gone, and the new one hasn't fully appeared yet. It feels like you're walking in the dark, guided only by a quiet feeling inside you that says, keep going. This is where most people stop. Not because they're weak, but because the unknown is uncomfortable. It doesn't give guarantees. It doesn't show outcomes. It simply asks for trust. And trust, especially in something you can't see, is one of the hardest things to hold on to. But every meaningful transformation requires this phase. A phase where you don't have all the answers. Where things don't fully make sense yet. And still, you choose to move forward. Not because you're sure it will work, but because staying where you were is no longer an option. And maybe that's what growth really is, moving ahead, even when the path is unclear, simply because something inside you refuses to go back. There was a moment, not at the beginning, but somewhere in the middle of the journey, where everything felt uncertain. Progress wasn't obvious. Nothing around seemed to confirm that things were getting better. It felt like walking forward, without knowing if it was even leading anywhere. Days passed with doubt. Questions kept appearing. Is this even worth it? What if nothing changes? What if I'm just wasting my time? And for a while, those thoughts felt louder than anything else. But then, something small happened. Not something big or dramatic, just a quiet realization. The reactions were different. The mindset was calmer. The things that once triggered fear, no longer had the same power. It wasn't that life had suddenly become perfect, it was that something inside had changed. At some point, without even realizing it, things begin to change. Not around you, not instantly in your life, but within you. The way you think, the way you respond, the way you see yourself. It's subtle, almost invisible at first. But it's real. The things that once controlled you, no longer have the same hold. The fears that used to stop you, feel smaller. The doubts that once felt loud, begin to fade into the background. And for the first time, you start to feel a quiet sense of control, not over everything outside, but over yourself. This is the shift most people are waiting for, without even knowing it. They look for big results, big changes, something visible. But the real transformation always starts here, inside. There was never a moment where everything suddenly became perfect. No instant success, no magical transformation overnight. But something far more powerful happened. You changed. Not into someone completely different, but into someone more real. Someone who understands their own worth. Someone who no longer runs from discomfort, but grows through it. Someone who doesn't wait for the right moment anymore, but creates it. And the most beautiful part is, this version of you was always there.